Good morning, Green Spring. Today is Monday, July 22nd. I'm Elke Martin, your host, and I have two guests with us today. There's Kimberly Nelson, Director of Philanthropy, right next to me.
Good
and
morning.
then we have Bob Dingelman,
Right.
immediate past president of ECHO.
Right.
And if you don't know what ECHO is, you should. ECHO's been around for 50 years in Springfield, and we will hear in a minute what this is all about, right?
Right.
But first, Kimberly, good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, good morning.
Happy Monday.
Happy warm Monday, yes. Now tell
but
me.
not quite as warm.
Not yet, no.
Yes.
Tell me, you are Director of Philanthropy. What do you have to do with ECHO?
Well,
And what is ECHO, to start with?
That's a great question. So ECHO, I'll just hold up the little flyer here so that they can get that. So it says Ecumenical Community Helping Others. Mm-hmm. So to celebrate their 50 years. So Green Spring has had a very long partnership with ECHO, but from the philanthropy point of view, part of my role in the philanthropy office is our partnership with other nonprofits that are in need or that help service seniors or those in our local community.
Yes.
And so just like we have the Alzheimer's Walk or the blood drive, all of those things come under our corporate social responsibility of helping others, sort of beyond our gates here at Green Spring.
Well, we are part of the larger Springfield community.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
And that's one way we show it.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so you may see other staff members like Diane, for example, take the lead in promoting something of this, but it really is part of that committee that coordinates with us so that we don't have all these things happening all at the same time. Mm-hmm. We don't want to do a food drive and a blood drive and everything sort of one after the other. We really like to coordinate that together. So, but it's all for the greater good, and it's such a great partnership we have here at Green Spring and our Green Spring faith community with ECHO and all the good work that they do.
And Bob, good morning to you.
Morning, Elke.
You told me that you have been president until recently for 10 years, but
Right.
even before then, you have been involved with ECHO another 15 years for a total of 25 years.
Yes, ma'am.
So congratulations on that and
Well, thank
on
you.
the 50 years of ECHO.
Well,
Now tell us what all you're involved in
I
and how
will.
it all started.
okay, let me give you a little bit of background because
Yes.
when you hear the background, it's a wonderful story. I mean, all the way back in 1968, some of the founding pastors of the new churches in the Springfield area, when Springfield was just beginning to expand,
Yes.
decided to get together and provide whatever they could in assistance to the people in need in the community. And so 9 originally Christian congregations, led by the pastor, the founding pastor of St. Mark's Lutheran, down on Back Lake, formed this group called Ecumenical Community Helping Others. It was an informal association in '68. It actually incorporated in 1969 as a 501c3, a technical name for a private nonprofit public charity. It has grown. It has grown dramatically over the last 50 years. The focus of ECHO, its mission, has been on providing assistance to people in need in the Springfield-Burke area. And I have to underscore that because we really are a local organization, a local charity. We're not regional, we're not statewide. We really respond to the needs in the immediate Springfield-Burke area. Mm-hmm. When we started out back in '68, '69, we were operating out of our own homes, and we also were operating out of church basements.
Yes.
And what we did is we provided food, clothing, and limited financial assistance. Our first year of operation, we only were able to help 12 families. Last year, we helped 1,400 families. Just 1,400, just to show you how much it has grown.
Yeah.
In the first year of operation, we provided about $1,000 in financial assistance. Last year, we provided over $275,000 in financial assistance to people. And, I mean, what does that mean? I mean, we help people pay their utility bills, their doctor's bills. We give them food. We give them clothing. We are distributing as much as 20,000 pounds of food a month. Okay? So about 250,000 pounds of food. Those 1,400 families make up for about 5,000 people a year that we're helping. Green Spring has been with us for a very long time, I'd say almost 20 years. Many of our volunteers, and I didn't mention yet, it is an all-volunteer organization. We got 400 volunteers, and we have no payroll. Nobody gets paid. Even our executive director or our directors of services accept absolutely no remuneration. We have no payroll. So everything you give to us, if you make a financial contribution or food or clothing, every bit of that goes directly to our clients.
Yeah.
Okay. Our overhead rate is only like 1%, and I'll rack that up against any 501c3
That's quite remarkable.
in the business.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does that mean the building out of which you work now, you own that building?
Yes.
And somebody
Originally,
donated it or something?
That story in itself is very interesting, because we started out in 1969 with, where the 7-Eleven is up there, where Hanover Commerce comes into, where Hanover comes into Old Keene Mill Road, up there by Garfield Elementary.
Oh, yeah.
We started out with that Winter Haven in just a one-room shack that we rented.
Yeah.
By 1971, which is 2 years later, a Lynch family donated the land to us that we presently sit on, and a small building on that land. Okay, this is 71.
Yeah.
From that, just by donations
Yeah.
and by contributions, we managed to finally build a modern warehouse facility in 1986. Okay, this is 15 years later.
Yeah.
And then in 2007, we doubled the size. All of this is done by donations from people in our congregations. I didn't mention we started out with those 9 original congregations. That has now grown to 25 congregations of all of the major faiths in the Springfield-Burke area. We've got a Baha'i temple, we've got a synagogue, and all of these people just want to give back to their community.
Well, that's why you call it ecumenical.
Exactly.
It's all encompassing.
And I wanted to say right up front, thanks to Green Spring, because Green Spring has been there with us for many years. I'd say probably 20 years.
I remember, you may not know that, Bob, I worked here, started about 15 years ago, and I came over to Echo just about every other week with a carload full. I had a big car in those days, loaded up from the treasure chest. In those days, Evelyn Jackson was heading that up, and whatever they couldn't sell and they needed to move product through went to you. And so I often came and saw how many people were working there, all volunteers, like you said, huge warehouse, very impressive operation. And whenever I came, there were a bunch of people working there already, and then ready to take the donations and sort them and whatever you do with them.
Right.
But
we have 40 to 50
remarkable.
Volunteers in the building every day, working every day.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know some of our residents, I believe, from Green Spring here go
Definitely.
over too.
Definitely.
I know Pat Gauthier. She has been very involved for many years.
Well,
right, with her
Pat
husband.
was our first executive director for 16 years.
Well, there you go.
Okay, and her husband John wrote
Right.
our first 40-year history. John passed away a couple of years ago. But, that's the type of people that get involved with ECHO and stay involved with ECHO.
Yeah.
And, when you start talking to people around to the volunteers, you'll find very many people reside right here in Green Spring and consider it a very important part of their retirement. To be able to be involved,
Gives
interact with
meaning
other
to your
people.
life.
Yes,
Absolutely.
it does.
To be
It
on
does.
purpose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how do you find these 1,400 families?
Combination of sources. Number one is they are referred to us by our congregations, because very
Yes.
frequently people in need will go to a local church and say, Pastor or Reverend, I need food and clothing, and they don't have much of a pantry themselves, so they'll give them a referral flyer to ECHO and they'll come to us. The other is by word of mouth.
Yeah.
We are located right near low-income housing in the Springfield area, and
right on Old Keene Mill Road.
right on Old Keene Mill Road by Commerce, okay? And very frequently people from those apartments will pass the word on to their fellow members. Also just personal referrals. And we do walk-ins too. But one thing that we do is we don't just simply give somebody a bag of food and say goodbye. We sit down with them, we create a file on them, we know what their needs are, we know how many kids they have, they know whether they're employed or not. So we manage the case, if you will. And we have some clients that come back on a regular basis, but very frequently come to us, and this is basically what we're there for emergency need. They're going to turn off my utilities, or I can't pay my doctor's bill. And they talk to a neighbor and they say, go to Echo. We also do a lot of marketing in the community.
Do you ever turn anybody away?
Not really. Not really. And, you know, some people say, well, don't some people stay with you forever? We have a very low percentage of people that have been with us beyond 2 years, maybe 3%. Because most of these, and there are some people, you know, you have to realize in today's marketplace and in this immediate area, there are individuals because of low skill, low language skills.
That's right.
They just simply cannot support themselves, even if they hold 2 to 3 jobs. And so, you know, what we do is, I mean, we have never had a situation where we turn people away. There's some people that we cannot help. I mean, for example, a lot of homeless people show up on our doorstep. We don't run a homeless center. I mean, there are other churches, the Lamb Center in Fairfax, that actually do, or down in Landmark, the Carpenter Shelter, we'll do a referral of them there. But the answer to your question is we don't turn people away. I mean, everybody that comes to us is there because they need.
Yes, yeah.
So.
I'm personally, in my personal life, I'm a volunteer with Food for Others up in Fairfax.
Great, yes.
And I know that they work with you too,
They
right?
do, they do.
Yeah. Because I used to think Echo doesn't deal with food and only has, you know, things like kids' toys and clothes.
No.
But that's not correct, is it?
You have a huge food pantry. We run very big food drives. As a matter of fact, Green Spring runs a food drive for us probably like twice a year. Most of the churches run food drives for us. Frequently schools, local businesses run food drives for us. We have a huge pantry, and when somebody comes to us saying they need food, we have everything already packaged. We give anybody that comes to us enough food for a family of 5 for 3 weeks.
Whoa.
Like, so we have, and
Okay.
the Boy Scouts will run a food drive for us in the fall, and the postal letter carriers do too.
Yes.
And they'll produce as many as 25,000 pounds of food, and everybody says to me, wow, it's a lot. How long does that last? That lasts 1 month for us.
Really? Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
We also have, and
So I think that's something that people often forget, living in this area where we live and the way we live.
Right.
How big a need we have right here in our own community, right?
Right.
I mean, you say Echo has grown over the years. Rather than get smaller, the need probably has also grown.
the need has definitely grown. We're beginning to see certain things trail off a little bit because it does track the economy. And the economy in this area has definitely improved over the last 10 years. Temporary employment, low-skill employment in the construction trades, and landscaping, domestics, fast food, those jobs have picked up. And when jobs pick up like that, people have less need for us. But, you know, we might have 1 year where we'll see a 2% decline. The following year we'll see a 10% increase, you know. So, I mean, it's stable. I mean, it's very stable. One of the biggest problems that we're experiencing is a general decline in church-going people in the area.
Yes.
I mean, almost all.
I think that's everywhere
It
in
is
the country,
everywhere.
not just.
Yeah, and all the congregations are generally small to middle. We have some very large denominations, but all of them are experiencing the phenomenon that you see nationwide, and it is younger people just simply don't go to church like they used to.
Yeah.
And sometimes that puts some of our congregations in, you know, tight financial situations, but they're staying in. And I mean, there's a real need out there, and a lot of people overlook it. I've had some people say to me, "Oh, not in Fairfax County."
That's right.
Yes, in Fairfax County.
Just drive down Route 1.
That's all you got to do. And the other thing, however, is that the gradual increase of the cost of living in the Springfield-Burke area is driving people, really lower income people, to find housing in other areas.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true.
But you know, to answer your question, is the need is stable. It's, you know, it does seem to show fluctuations with the economy, but believe me, when we open the door, there are people standing there.
Yeah, it's not, for sure, it's not going away.
It's not going away.
So if someone wants to donate food, you know, we have our church groups that I know Lois in Pastoral Ministry, sometimes residents will bring food donations and they'll hold it until they have a bag or two and take it over to Echo. And I know we do the big drives in the fall and in the spring. But what are the types of food items or things that you see the greatest need that people might be looking for? Because as they watch this program and get inspired, and next time they go to the grocery store, they may say, I'm going to pick up a few extra of what?
First of all, we're always interested in non-perishable foods, okay? Canned goods or boxed goods that have a long shelf life. When I say that, you know, some of the things that really we can't keep on our shelves are flour, rice, sugar, okay? Canned vegetables of any type, canned meat products, Spam, cooking oil. We do not want fresh vegetables. We don't have the ability to store and keep them, but we do help our clients get fresh vegetables because we've worked out arrangements with local markets whereby we'll give them a gift card and they can go in there and they can buy fresh dairy and fresh vegetables with fruit, okay? The other thing a lot of people don't think of is personal care products. I mean, it's important. Toothbrushes, toothpaste, you know, shampoo, body soap. All of these things people need and can't afford to buy very frequently, and we'll also give them to our clients. Household goods, pots, pans, linens, towels, sheets, covers, okay? All of that. And I want to encourage, I didn't mention it, you know, the easiest way to get to know Echo is to visit our website, and if you're not into the website, you'll see it's www.echo-inc.org. There are a lot of other Echoes out there, okay? And even on a nationwide basis. I mentioned that because on our website, it gives you a complete feel for the operation. There's a 10-minute video there in which you'll see volunteers lead you through the whole operation. Or you can always stop by. Anybody that really wants to see the operation, like you mentioned, can drive in, park in the visitor's parking space, and stop in and ask to tour the place.
Tell us the opening hours.
The opening hours, thank you. There were opening hours from 9:30 to 12:30 Monday through Friday. Tuesday evenings, Wednesday and Thursday from 7 to 9, and the first Saturday of every month. So we really are open only, and the most popular times are obviously the morning times.
Yeah.
But because we also conduct interviews and people are working, we do have evening hours, but not generally public hours. Okay, people come in for interviews. So, I mean, if you want to drop something off or you want to visit, we are open from 9:30 to 12:30 every day of the week, and 7 to 9, 3 nights a week. Okay. I don't know if you want to get into it. We have some special volunteer needs that we want the Green Spring community to know about.
Yes.
Because as we grow, we also are trying to expand into new areas, do more and more in the community, more and more people, more and more outreach, more marketing. So some of the types of people that we need are grant writers. Grant writers.
Okay.
People to know how to identify grant opportunities and work with us. Let me just say, when every one of these that I'm going to mention, they're team efforts. You don't have to come in and do it for us. You come in and do it with us. There are other people doing it, and we want more talent. So grant writing is number one. Next is a historian or archivist. I mentioned John Gauthier.
Yes.
John wrote a beautiful history of the first 40 years of Echo. We now have hit our...
Well, now you're at 50.
50. We wanted to do a commemorative issue of a history of Echo. We got loads of pictures, loads of reports. Anybody that is good at writing history or enjoys doing history, could really help us to do history. A 50th anniversary history of Echo. Marketing. And like I say, as a small not-for-profit, one of the challenges, I should say it, in this business is that when you're not for profit and you are all volunteer, you get people who want to be there and want to work with you. But sometimes you don't have the skill mix that you need
Right.
in order to do everything you want to do. So we need people who know marketing or who come out of the business world and have done business to business sales. We're trying to reach out to the business community. Most of our work up to this point has been in the faith community, but we're getting more and more local restaurants, local department stores.
That makes sense.
Donate
reach
to us,
out
and we'd like to
that
do
area.
more of that.
Yeah, and you have a great local chamber of commerce.
Right, and we do work with the Chamber of Commerce. Donation door greeters. If you've ever been to Echo, there's a big door there where people come and donate their clothing or their food. There are people there that take it from them and sort it and distribute it throughout the building. We need more people manning that door. Household goods. Like I mentioned, I ticked off all the things that we get for households, pots, pans. There's a whole department in Echo that specializes in that.
Yeah.
And we need more people manning that. And then finally, counseling. We all, see, what we do that is very different from other people is we sit down with our clients, like I said, and develop a file on them, and find out what their needs are, find out whether they speak English. We need counselors who do face-to-face interactions with people. We got 40 of them, all right? But we need more people who speak Spanish. So if there are people in the Green Spring community that speak Spanish, who have social worker background, or who are just good at interactions with people of need, we'd love to have them give us a call.
And they don't have to have special training?
No, and that's the other point.
You train them?
That's what point I should have made at the beginning. Like I say, none of this is solo work. All of this is teamwork.
Yeah.
And all of it, we train you. Okay, if you're a volunteer. Out of the things that I have mentioned, if there's any interest in anybody in your listening audience out there, they can either go to our website, which I mentioned, or they can shoot an email to volunteer coordinator at echo-inc.org, okay? Or they can give us a call.
Yeah.
And last couple times I did this, it was always impressed upon me that everybody that lives at Echo is not necessarily, computer savvy and don't make as much use of it as the younger community. You can give us a call at 703-569-7972. And do that again, 703-569-7972. I mentioned that last because what things you'll find whenever you call Echo, you have a hard time getting through. It is very, very busy.
Oh, you have to be very patient.
You got to be patient. Yes, ma'am.
Use the telephone.
Yeah.
Be patient, and you
So
can also, people who use the telephone know how to find your number.
Yeah, and you can find us
I'm
on
sure.
Facebook too. Okay, we got a Facebook page now.
One last question as
Yeah.
we wrap up here
Sure.
that occurred to me while you were talking. I was not aware, at the beginning you said if people need us to pay their utility bill or so,
Right.
we'll do that. So you have, in addition to items that you give people and food that you give people, you also have monetary support.
Yes, and I want to.
And how do you work with social services to make sure that it doesn't all overlap?
And we
double
work with
and
the
triple?
utility companies, and we work with the doctors. One, we do not give cash to people. I mean,
Yeah, that's a
people,
good thing to
people
say.
come in
I'm
with
glad
their,
you say that.
with their bills, or they come in with their cutoff notice from the utility company,
Yeah.
and say, and they're going to cut me off in 30 days. Can you help me? We will work with the utility company and pay that bill. Okay, we do that to the tune of about $20,000 to $30,000 a month.
A month?
A month, yes, ma'am. Okay. Now, the other thing I want to underscore is why we are so big in the food and clothing and household items and personal care items is that we would prefer to give them to people so that they can save their paycheck to pay their bills. Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
And so, and I'll say, like I say, we are doing $25,000 to $30,000 a month, about $250,000 to $300,000 a year. There's one thing I always want to do when I make a presentation like this, is people get tired of hearing me talk numbers and history. I like to talk stories too.
That's right.
When I started
It's
off
all
at
about
Echo,
people.
I worked at Wednesday nights. Wednesday nights is cleanup night. I was the guy who vacuumed the warehouse and cleaned the bathrooms, okay? But also people would come for drop-offs at the donation door. I would open the door and there would be somebody there with food or clothing. One evening I did, it was a young Latina woman who gave me a lot of clothing, children's clothing, and a lot of food. And I always make a point of talking to them and thanking them, because that is the nature of our business. And I thanked her graciously for everything she so generously offered. She said, "Don't thank me, I thank Echo." 5 years ago, I was an unmarried mother in an abusive relationship. I finally got out of that, and with Echo's help, I could get myself set up, I could get an apartment, and now, today, I'm married to a doctor, and I have 2 children. I want to give back.
What a beautiful story to wrap this half hour up
Lovely.
with, making it a full circle.
Right.
That's how it is. I mean, all of us who happen to, or don't happen to, who live here at Green Spring are in that situation that we either worked hard or were lucky or somehow,
Right.
but ended up in a good place. And so we're part of the cycle, and it's maybe upon us to give back. So if you enjoyed this half hour, Green Spring listeners and viewers, and you feel inclined to be connected to Echo, Bob Dingelman told us a lot about what Echo does here in the community and how important it is. And Kimberly pointed out the long relationship we at Green Spring already have with Echo. So if you want to participate, you've heard several ways you can do that, through Facebook, through the website, through the telephone, and you have to be patient if you call. We thank you all
Thank you.
for being here today. Wish you good luck. Congratulations on 50 years. And thank you, Kimberly, for being here.